In other news we're tracking for you, an alleged extortionist was shot dead yesterday after an exchange of gunfire with police in the Eastern Cape. It comes as Dalibunga Senior Secondary School staff and learners raised concerns over intimidation after teachers were asked to pay a monthly protection fee. I think asked is probably the wrong word there. The Education Department in the province has since filed a complaint with police. Let's take you live now to Newzroom Afrika's Liyema Vumisa, who is tracking the story for us. Liyema, good afternoon. What are teachers and school staff, learners as well, telling you about how long this extortion racket has been operating at the school?
That's right, Michelle. Well, I can tell you when we entered the premises of the school and tried to get, some sort of word according to how the teachers are feeling, many of them were very reluctant to speak to us. And of course, you'd understand, given the sensitivity of this matter, because the extortionists are in fact targeting, allegedly, some of the teachers who reside in the inside premises of this very same school. So then for the teachers to want to speak to us, particularly on camera, it poses a danger then to their lives. Right now, though, I am joined by a school governing body member who's going to reflect perhaps on some of the sentiment as far as parents now of the learners are concerned. Tatumkyo is joining us. Enkosi kakhulu Tatumkyo kokuba kunye nathi. Nivile ngezi ziganeko ze-extortion eziqhubekayo kwesi sikolo. Abazali bazive njani?
Athina singabazali silala obungehliyo ubuthongo nokuba lento besiqala ukuyibona besongana siyiva apha ezindaweni ithe yawufika kuthi sothuka kwaze kwabuhlungu kwabuhlungu naselalini yonke kwade kwaxokozela nomuntu ongenamntwana olapha esikolweni kuweske ngoku kuthi thina sinabantwana abalapha kuweske ngoku nakotishala besiqonda uba banceda abantwana bethu ukuze bafumane ikusasa elimhlophe eliqhakazileyo. Ngoku siyabona neentliziyo ziyophuma estandini esirayithi sabo otishala ngoba bafundisa abantwana benentliziyo ebetha kuba kaloku abayazi uba le nto nanjengoba ivele yasiquka ilanga layo elokufika izofika kubo nini bephi ngoba kaloku sinelo themba thina loba besiqonda into bekasibona bona sibona abantwana bethu benako ukuthi bafunde babefane nabo otishala yaye ke ngoku kubuhlungu kakhulu yaye nangoku kubi kunzima nokutya ngoba sisayilindele nento ba singathi silele ebusuku sive kuthiwe eDalibunga bafikile benza ukuthanda kwabo ngoba into enziwa ngaba bantu ebantwini imbi yaye sinelo xhala ke ngoku notitshala ke ngoku noprincipal wethu singabahlali akumnandanga asonwabanga tu nakanye.
Injani tata inkxalabo yabazali ingakumbi kwimfundo yabantwana balapha ngoba kaloku xa kungazobhatalwa le mali loo nto leyo zithi izigrogriso sizawuvalwa isikolo. Injani inkxalabo yenu ke ngoku ingakumbi ngemfundo yabantwana balelali?
Sixhalabe kakhulu futhi asazi noba singathize sincedakale sincedwe ngubani kodwa elona themba bese sijongise kulo uba lakusinceda nguye urhulumente kuba siyawazi uba umthetho semrhulumenteni nomntu owenza ukuthanda kwakho umthetho ungaphezulu. Yiyo loo nto sixhalabe kakhulu sithi urhulumente besingavuya sincede kwesi sigrogriso sisivileyo nesisibonile kule leta ancame aphakamise ikawusi ukuze basinde ngoba abazali baxhalabile. Wes no okude kukho abantwana bakude kundawo ezikude kuba uyi-high school ngoku asazi babona kunjani kunzima kuthi thina hleli endaweni ngenxa yesi sigrogriso siyoyika sihlala sisoyika sisezindlini sihamba endleleni siyoyika ngoba siyazi aba bantu into abahamba ngayo nexesha abafika ngalo sibona nje uba kuthi abafikile xa bede babhala nephepha utsho ukuthi ke ngoku asazi ke ngoba rhulumente sobalekela phi.
All right, Tata Masibulele kakhulu ngexesha lakho. Well, there you can have it, Michelle. That is the sentiment then from the school governing body of the Dalibunga Senior Secondary School, of course, speaking and ventilating some of the concerns of the wider community of parents of the learners that are studying or learning at this very same school. Of course, he is talking about the concerns of safety that they have, not only about extortion, but just about crime in general. And he also mentions then that to top that over, these recent revelations then that concern extortion in this school, alleged that is, it really worries them as parents, of course, saying they trust on the law enforcement agencies and also on the government in itself, in its entirety, to ensure that safety measures in place are put to ensure the safety of not only the teachers but also of the learners, because he believes that the school is in this particular village of Ngqeleni to benefit the learners so that they can have a brighter future tomorrow.
Well, absolutely, that should be the case. What do authorities say about what they know about the issue of extortion, not only at that school but in that community, Liyema? You know, we know that extortion is a huge issue across various industries and across a number of provinces as well. The cases sometimes rise and make headlines, and then it sort of goes out of the public mind. But it is, as we now know, an ongoing issue. What are law enforcement saying?
Yeah, you're certainly right, Michelle. What we have sort of gathered as the sentiment from some of the teachers who did not want to appear on camera, and also to some of the parents who were here, they first tell us that the case of an extortion that is being requested from a school just in the entire community of Ngqeleni is the first of its kind. It started only in this school, but as the SGB member that we just spoke to right now also alluded to earlier on, that they are aware of cases of extortion, but they only know from them, or rather about them, only from television or even from a wider area outside of Ngqeleni. Hence, then, they believe that this is the first of its kind, and hence, they have the concerns that they have. But it seems as though all of the people and the stakeholders that are involved are trying to resolve the issue. I mean, we understand, as you alluded to in your intro earlier on, that police did in fact have an exchange with an alleged extortionist. Now, we don't understand whether or not that extortionist is related to this particular extortion case in this school, but certainly the South African police members are confirming that it was an armed alleged extortionist that was fatally wounded in that exchange of fire between himself and the police. Now, in this very same school, the teachers were being asked 1,000 rand per teacher, 1,000 rand 500 if you have a child that you stay with inside these premises. Surely then that should give an indication of how serious this matter is. Matter of fact, Michelle, they put up a date of the 20th of August, this very same year, to be the date then that if nothing of their demands are being met, then they will be met with quote-unquote harshly measures.
It's very worrying indeed. Liyema Vumisa with the latest for us on that story in the Eastern Cape.